This past week, I finally came down with COVID. And so I've been trapped in this very room for the past 6 days.
And I know what you're thinking. I probably can't do the things that I normally enjoy doing. Well, you're wrong. I get to go swimming, play poker, paintball, and knitting. But most importantly, I'm still able to research and review startup investments, like this one.
In this video, I'll be sharing why I think this startup is worth looking into, and if you comment on this video and subscribe to the channel, you will have the chance to win $50 of store credit to this startup's website. Guys, Crowdscale is a small, new-ish channel. I only get about 6 comments per video, so if you comment and subscribe, your chances of winning are very, very high. Last but not least, please know that this is not financial advice, so do your own research before deciding to invest or not. Now, on to the review. The company I'm profiling today is Duradry. They specialize in treating hyperhidrosis, or excessive sweating. It's a condition that affects nearly 5% of the population, so in the US, that totals 17 million people. Duradry is more than just an antiperspirant stick. They have a 3-step process that comprises of washes and deodorants. I myself do not have hyperhidrosis, but I know for a fact that this is a serious problem for a lot of people. The product seems to work really well. They have a lot of positive reviews on Amazon, and they claim that 97% of all users experience dryness within the first week of using the product. I dug through some of these reviews, and the outcomes seem to be divided into 2 main groups. On one hand, there's a small percentage of users that say the product didn't really have that much of an effect, which is kind of normal. Everybody's body reacts differently. The other group of reviews say that this product has changed their lives, that they've been searching for a cure for this condition for years, and that this is an absolute game changer. This is amazing to see. For the people that this product works for, you have intense, strong brand loyalty. Okay, so Duradry is primarily a direct-to-consumer business, and from 2017 to 2020, they pretty much tripled revenues every single year. There was a bit of a slowdown in 2021, so I asked the founder why growth had tapered off there, especially since they were projecting to double revenues in 2022. The founder's answer made me feel a little bit more comfortable about this. Apparently, they had about $1.5 million in sales that they were unable to fulfill due to supply chain issues. And then they were also hampered by the iOS ad targeting changes. This really affected their customer acquisition strategy until they were able to figure it out. Duradry has a lot to look forward to in terms of growth. They're planning to release new products this coming year, which will probably include things like wipes or creams that target specific parts of the body. Duradry also has a small retail presence, and they're looking to expand heavily there. I'm excited for this expansion because the problem with D2C companies is that you continually need to invest in digital ads to generate revenue. You don't typically hear the term customer acquisition cost when it comes to retail because people just come into stores naturally. And then finally, they operate in a market that is growing. Deodorant and antiperspirant sales are expected to grow with a compound annual growth rate of 7% in the coming years. Let's talk about competition because that appears to be Duradry's main weak spot. I would love to say that Duradry is the only over-the-counter product that treats hyperhidrosis, but it isn't. There is one ingredient that nearly all antiperspirants share. It's called aluminum zirconium, or some form of that word. The way this ingredient works to prevent sweat is actually really cool. So when it comes into contact with water, it thickens the water. So if you apply antiperspirant to your underarm, for example, and it comes into contact with the sweat in the glands, it makes the water thick. Too thick to pass through the pores, and so it literally clogs it up and prevents sweat from passing through. Any product that has over 15% aluminum zirconium in it needs to be prescribed. Duradry is able to offer maximum protection at over-the-counter accessibility because it has exactly 15% in its product. Now, there are other products out there that have high amounts of aluminum zirconium in there, just like Duradry, so they aren't exactly revolutionizing the game here. The one I'm most concerned about with is Sweat Block. Unlike the other old school and dated competitors, Sweat Block has strong branding, they've got a D2C focus, and by the looks of it, they generate more revenue than Duradry. According to SimilarWeb, they do about 100,000 in monthly traffic to their website, which is more than twice what Duradry does. If I had to estimate, I think they're doing around $7 to $10 million in annual sales, whereas Duradry is currently at 3 to 4. The main advantage that Duradry has is that it includes more natural ingredients in its products, which is more in line with consumer trends and how they're shaping out. Ultimately, it's going to come down to who's a better operator. The good thing here is that it's not a zero-sum game, and Duradry has been able to triple their sales and grow into the millions, all while Sweat Block has existed. listed. Outside of competition, the main worry with Duradry is just the ever-changing digital ad landscape. D2C companies thrived under cheap Facebook ads, but CPMs have been going up, and you've seen radical policy shifts like the iOS ad targeting changes that can really have a negative effect on companies that exist primarily on the internet. One of the things that I do like about this company is that I think there's a strong chance that they could get acquired by a CPG conglomerate like Unilever or P&G. These conglomerates don't have a lot of organic growth, but they have a lot of cash, and so they use that cash to buy small new brands to bring in and make it look like they have growth. P&G actually bought Native Deodorant back in 2017 for $100 million. Based on those comps, I think that Duradry, if they continue to grow, could probably sell in the $70 to $90 million range. All right, it is now time for the Crowdscale weighting. Business model. People actively look for solutions to hyperhidrosis, and this is a great product. I will dock it a couple of points just because the headwinds facing D2C companies, 7 out of 10. Opportunity for scale. 5% of the world needs your product. Outside of some operational factors, revenue was tripling every single year, and this is a market that is growing. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 here. Competition and risks. Sweatblock is a strong competitor. I'm also worried about the digital advertising landscape and any headwinds that are facing D2C companies right now. This is a real area of concern for me. 2 out of 10. Founder strength. I think the founder, Jack, has done a tremendous job so far. He's shown he's an efficient marketer and he's been able to scale the company very quickly. He's also the perfect spokesman for hyperhidrosis, having it himself. I'm going to give them a 7 out of 10 here. Exit potential. CPG conglomerates are always gobbling up new brands. I think that Duradry could be an attractive acquisition target. 8.5 out of 10. Add all those scores together, multiply it by 2, and we have a positive Crowdscale weighting of 65 out of 100. I hope you found this video helpful. I also want to help you in your very first investment, so if you are a new user to StartEngine, you can use my link in the description below and get $20 towards your first investment. Also, don't forget to comment and subscribe if you want a chance to win $50 of store credit to Duradry. I know it's kind of a niche product, but if you know someone, it'd be a great gift, I think. I don't know. That's it from the COVID lockdown room. Peace, sniffles, and dry underarms. I will talk to you later.